Hey everyone, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah.
You know those everyday things you don't think twice about? Yeah, well today we're going deep on pens and pencils.
Pens and
Yeah,
pencils.
pens and pencils. We've got some excerpts here from this environmental issues PDF. And it turns out they've got a bigger impact than you might think.
Interesting.
Like seriously, did you know they cut down thousands of trees every year just to keep up with how many pencils we use? It's kind of crazy.
Thousands. Really?
Yeah, it's wild.
Well,
And it's not just any trees either, right?
right. It's mainly incense cedar. It's got this super smooth grain, perfect for making pencils. One of those trees can actually make like 170,000 pencils.
170,000 from just one tree. That's a lot of pencils.
It is, but think about how many people use pencils around the world. It adds up.
So all those pencils,
Hmm.
how many trees are we talking about here?
Well, based on the demand, we're looking at about 82,000 incense cedar trees cut down every year, mostly in places like California where they grow best.
82,000 trees a year, just for pencils.
Pretty much, yeah.
That can't be good for the environment, right?
Yeah.
All the deforestation.
No, definitely not. I mean, when you cut down that many trees, you're talking about destroying habitats, messing up whole ecosystems, and pumping a lot of carbon into the atmosphere.
Not good.
Not good at all. And then there's the plastic pen problem.
Plastic pens. What, they're bad too? I always thought they were better than the wooden pencils at least.
Well, not really. See, the thing is, in the U.S. alone, we throw away something like 1.6 billion plastic pens every year.
1.6 billion, that's a lot of pens.
It is, and most of them just end up in landfills.
Landfills, what happens to them there?
Well, plastic doesn't just disappear. It can take like 1,000 years for a plastic pen to decompose. All that time, it's sitting there leaking harmful chemicals into the ground.
Yikes.
And that's not even the worst of it. A lot of that plastic ends up in the ocean.
The ocean. Seriously. Pens.
Yeah, plastic pollution is a huge problem, and a lot of it comes from everyday things like plastic pens.
It's hard to imagine something as small as a pen could cause so much trouble.
It's not just the number of pens either. The type of plastic they're made of is a problem too. Mostly polyethylene and polypropylene, which aren't always easily recycled. They break down into microplastics, and then those tiny bits end up in the food chain.
So wait, we could be eating plastic from pens.
Essentially, yes. It's a pretty scary thought, isn't it? There was this study that found 90% of seabirds had eaten plastic debris, things like pen fragments.
Wow, 90%. That's almost all of them.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay, so we've got deforestation from pencils, plastic pollution from pens. Is there like any good news here? Any way to write without messing up the planet?
Actually, yeah, there are some pretty cool solutions out there. There's this thing called a seed pencil. Have you heard of those?
Seed pencil. Can't say I have. What is it?
Well, basically a pencil, but it's made entirely from recycled paper, so no trees are cut down to make it.
Okay, that's cool.
And here's the best part. When you've used it all up, the little stub at the end, it has a seed capsule in it.
A seed. Wait a minute, you can plant it.
Exactly. You plant the stub, water it, and it glows into a real plant.
No way. So instead of throwing the pencil away, you grow something.
Yep. It's pretty awesome, right? A great way to cut down on waste and actually do something good for the environment.
That's amazing. What kind of plants can you grow?
All kinds. They've got seeds for everything from basil and mint to tomatoes and sunflowers.
That's so cool. Who knew a pencil could be so eco-friendly?
It's amazing what you can do with a little creativity, right? Makes you wonder what other everyday things we could redesign to be more sustainable.
It really does. So it looks like our trusty pens and pencils maybe aren't so innocent after all. They're tied to some pretty serious environmental problems. But the good news is there are alternatives out there, like that seed pencil we were talking about. Who knew you could grow a garden from your writing supplies? It just goes to show every choice we make, even something as small as picking a pen or a pencil, can have a ripple effect. So next time you're reaching for something to write with, take a second to think about where it came from and where it's going to end up. It might just inspire you to make a different choice. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. We'll see you next time for another exploration into the unexpected.